I'm Judy Check, and I'm one of the employee health nurses at Holy Family Memorial. I've been very involved in our vaccination effort for both our employees and our community since we received the vaccine in mid-December. The nation has vaccinated over 177 million people that have already received one dose of the vaccine. It has been proven to be safe and effective, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. Hopefully give you some information that will help you decide to get the vaccine. So, why do you need one? What's in it for you? Well, first of all, the most important thing is it can prevent you from becoming seriously ill and dying due to the vaccine. We also, even if you don't get seriously ill from having the virus, we're not sure what the long-term effects might be for you. So it's both to help you prevent serious illness now and in the future. We also need to prevent giving the virus to others, to our loved ones, to our co-workers, to our community. And by doing that, we are increasing the number of people in our community that have had the vaccine and reaching what we call herd immunity. And that's when we have about 80% of our community vaccinated. And that sort of creates a envelope around us and protects us. The rest of the people who haven't been vaccinated, who haven't been able to, for whatever reason, aren't, it keeps everyone protected. It also helps prevent the virus from having a place to go to live or to mutate. And mutate is like changing its personality, so to speak, so that maybe the vaccine that you got isn't as effective against it. So we want to try to prevent the virus from infecting other people, being able to mutate, and then become a virus that is harder for us to control. If the virus has nowhere to go and live and thrive, it's going to die off. And that is our most promising benefit from the vaccine, is to get this nasty virus to die off. We want to be able to return to our normal life. That's another important reason to get this vaccine. We've all been impacted in many, many different ways, especially the elderly, and having to be pretty much alone in their homes or places of residence all this time until they've been able to get some protection. So we want to have a normal life. We want to go about our business as usual, and the vaccine is going to help us do that. So are they really safe? How do we know they're safe? Well, first of all, we can go back to that number I gave you with 177 million having received at least one dose and having given over 300 million doses total between mid-December and late June of this year. We have tracked the side effects. The CDC has an app that many people put on their phone so that they can record side effects, and that's something very novel that we've never been able to do before. So they're making a great effort to compile a lot of information to be helpful to us in the future. And they also, I know that there's some side effects that have been in the media quite a bit lately, especially the myocarditis or pericarditis of the young adolescents and youth, and that is like an inflammation around the heart. That has occurred in greater than 1,000 people, but when you think of about 1,000 and we've given 317 million doses, that is a small amount. The other serious side effect that we've heard a lot about in the media is the blood clot issue, particularly in women and the J&J vaccine. So young women below the age of 50. And there was about a 7 per 1 million incidents of that happening. So you do have your choice as to which vaccine you want to get. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The vaccines were developed in a different way, and I know a lot of people take issue with the fact that the Moderna and Pfizer are what we call mRNA vaccines. And that type of vaccine teaches your cells how to make a protein that then triggers an immune response. Our researchers in the vaccine world have been working on this for decades. We're working on it, researching it, and really just waiting for this moment in time to be able to produce it and have it be useful. So it's new, but it's not new to the researchers. This is something that's been just waiting for its opportunity. The J&J vaccine is what we call a viral vector vaccine. And that's a little more complicated to explain, so I'm going to read it. It contains a modified version of a virus, which is different from COVID-19. And that's what they call a viral vector, and that's what they inject into you. Once that's inside your cells, then the genetic material inside gives your cells an instruction to make a protein that is unique to COVID-19. Then when your body sees COVID-19 as trying to infect you, it will respond with lymphocytes that you already have that are prepared to fight it. So there are just two different ways of developing these vaccines, both very effective. The Pfizer vaccine is considered to be 95% effective in preventing COVID vaccine in symptoms of people over age 16 and 100% in children ages 12 to 15. The Moderna is 94% effective, so very much similar statistics, and it has not been approved for adolescents yet. The J&J vaccine is 66% effective in preventing virus with symptoms. It's also 85% effective at preventing severe disease. So sometimes we worry about getting the disease at all, and other times we need to think about we just don't want to get that very severe type of COVID that makes you be hospitalized. So the vaccines can protect you or reduce your risk by anywhere from 66 to 90+%, and may make symptoms in those breakthrough cases mild. So even people there are a few who have a breakthrough case breaks through their vaccine prevention, and those people usually have mild symptoms and kind of breeze through it. The fact that it prevents severe illness and hospitalization among people of all ages is really the best news that we can have of all. There is also evidence to support that they provide protection against infections without symptoms. So those asymptomatic kind of disease, well, they may not be showing any symptoms of it, but they're still contagious. If they've had the vaccine, they are not considered contagious. Your best protection from these vaccines is 2 weeks after your second dose of the Pfizer and Moderna, and 2 weeks after your single dose of the J&J. The J&J is only one dose, so get your vaccine 2 weeks later, you are considered fully vaccinated. The other two, the Pfizer, you get a dose 3 weeks later, you get your second dose, and 2 weeks after that, you are considered fully vaccinated. So that takes a time span of 5 weeks. And the Moderna, there's a 4-week period in between your first dose and second dose, and then another 2 weeks for full vaccination status. There is evidence also to support that these vaccines are effective against the variants that we've seen. I know we heard a lot about the one from Great Britain or the UK. We're hearing a lot about the Delta variant right now. And I think that's why we're seeing a big push for those that are still unvaccinated to get vaccinated. They believe that the Delta variant will become the predominant strain in the United States by the end of summer. It seems to be a little more contagious. I don't know if it's really more severe, but it seems to spread a little easier than the other one. So I have a couple frequently asked questions or myths. I want to bust some myths here about things people have heard, things they've read, you know, the conspiracy theories that the government is trying to take us all over by injecting us with something. So I want to start with, can receiving a COVID-19 vaccine cause you to be magnetic? No, absolutely not. It cannot cause you to be magnetic. There is nothing in it that is even metal. So it's the typical dose is less than a milliliter, which is not enough to allow magnets to attract your vaccination. So that is false. Do any of the COVID-19 vaccines shed their components? No, they do not. It's a term that's used to describe the release or discharge of any vaccine components in or outside the body. It can only occur when a vaccine contains a weakened form of the virus, and none of the vaccines that are authorized for use in the United States do contain a weakened virus. Will it alter my DNA? You hear this one a lot, and I think it's because the Pfizer and Moderna are called mRNA vaccines. RNA and DNA are very different things, and it does not alter your DNA. Absolutely does not. If I get a COVID shot, am I going to test positive for COVID? Like say I get a COVID shot and a week later I've got cold symptoms and my employer is saying you need to go and get your COVID test. Do I need to worry that I'll test positive? No, you will not test positive for COVID after receiving a COVID shot. Can a COVID vaccine make me sick with COVID? I know I hear this a lot with the flu vaccine. You gave me the vaccine and then I got the flu. It's really impossible for that to happen. There is no dead or weakened virus in the vaccine. It's only teaching your body how to react and respond if you happen to get infected with it. So that is untrue. Let me go over a few more. I already had COVID-19, so I don't need to get vaccinated, right? Nope, that is not correct. It is possible to become reinfected, which is why they want you to get vaccinated. The immunity that you receive from a vaccine is a little different than the natural immunity that you get from having had the disease. The vaccine will make me sterile or infertile. There is no evidence to suggest that, and in fact, pregnant women can get it at any time during their pregnancy. If you have concerns about that, you should really discuss it with your obstetrician. What side effects might you expect from getting the vaccine? So first of all, the vaccine is given in your upper arm, in your deltoid muscle, right about here. It's a very small amount of solution that's put in. It's an intramuscular injection, just like getting a tetanus shot. The kinds of side effects that we see most often are some body aches, some sort of fatigue or malaise where you just kind of don't feel like doing a lot. Some people have gotten chills. Some people, I would say those, and almost everybody gets a bit of a sore arm. So at the injection site, you might expect some pain. And then some of those other symptoms are the most common symptoms. I would say almost 90% of people who have any symptoms resolve within 24 hours. So it's a small price to pay. for having to stay home 10 days on quarantine if you have COVID, having many more symptoms that last a lot longer, and not being sure of how long you're going to have any long-term symptoms. So the advantage to getting the vaccine is much greater, and you have much less chance of developing any of these long hauler type symptoms as if you're wanting to get your immunity from having had the disease. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? We don't know about boosters yet. There's a lot of talk. Oh yeah, we're going to need a booster. It's going to be included with our flu shot. We don't know. There's nothing out there official on that yet. So all we can say is that is just talk at this time. I guess headache is another side effect that I didn't mention. And I know I did have a mild headache, but it cleared in 24 hours, and that was really my only symptom. Some people have 0 symptoms or side effects. Now, after hearing all of this, and you're interested in getting a vaccine, how can you get one? There are several sites around our community that are still administering COVID vaccine. Many of the pharmacies are giving them, and many of the healthcare systems have now sort of closed down their community systems, and they've moved their vaccine clinics into their primary care areas or your provider offices. So I would suggest that you call your provider office and ask how you can receive a vaccine. There's been lots of literature and promotion coming from the state of Wisconsin to get the vaccinators to provide vaccines in all kinds of settings. At your workplace, when you're hospitalized, when you're in the emergency room, sort of no matter where you are, a vaccine should be available to you. They should be free of charge. Many times your insurance will be billed, but the administering healthcare organization will only take what your insurance will pay for them. So basically they are free to you. And if you have no health insurance, they are still available free to you, and that is by mandate of the state. When you get your vaccine, you're going to get a vaccination card, and that card is just a record of what vaccine you had and when you have it. So your 2 doses will be listed on there. We've heard that some airlines are requiring them, some commercial carriers of all sorts of transportation might need to see your vaccination card. It is also mandatory that anyone who gives you the vaccine in Wisconsin record it in the Wisconsin Immunization Registry so that it is available for you or any healthcare provider to look at and see that you had the vaccine. Holy Family Memorial is offering COVID vaccine at almost all of their clinics at this time. Our community clinics are only open for about 2 more weeks, and they're just offering 2nd dose vaccines to those who have already received them. But beginning on July 12th, we will be offering them through most clinics, and you can sign up for an appointment or walk in for an appointment at the walk-in clinic. Sign up phone number is 320-3333, and that is the same number that you might have called to schedule a COVID test or have yourself evaluated. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. I hope I provided enough information for you to make an informed decision, and I strongly encourage you to get the COVID-19 vaccine as soon as possible. Thank you.